Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for your support. I spent the last 2 weeks reorganizing my life. There's been a little shift, and it's a good one. I spent a lot of time streamlining systems, taking care of unfinished business, setting up new systems, cleaning the environment deeply, changing things in the environment to reflect my personality today, which is calm and organized rather than chaotic like it was a few months ago. So, this record, Space, Light, Color, Acoustic Workshop Volume 1, struck me as being really reflective of where I'm at right now and the kind of record and the kind of music that works perfectly in my new environment. It's a release from Birdbox Records, and it's an unusual one. I'll tell you why. You've heard about Birdbox on my channel before. I raved about a couple of their releases, and one of their artists in particular, Alessandro Bianchini, and his wonderful record, MySpace 24. If you didn't get it, they repressed it because of demand. And there's a little surprise on that record when you get it. Order the new copy if you like. I think there's another 300 of those. But I also covered another release recently called Scarlatti alla Scarlatti, and that is an organ record. I have it here. At the time, I only had the test pressing. Now I have the finished edition, and look at this. It's amazing. Oh my God. Lorenzo Vella really has upped his game with the jackets. The jacket on this is incredible. It's a beautiful, sort of a soft touch material. Really impressive. And look at the color. The printing on that, it looks regal and glorious, and it is. Yeah, they're all gatefolds now. Pressings are beautiful. There are booklets and everything. I mean, it really is a labor of love. 300 copies of this exist. And it's a fabulous organ recording. You can read my written review or watch my video review for this one. For Space, Light, and Color, I didn't really do a video review yet, so I wanted to talk about it a little more. Basically, it's this, and this is what's so interesting about this. It's about alchemy. It's a word that's used in the booklet for this, which is very beautiful as well. Just incredible. And what Lorenzo Vella means by alchemy is taking a superb recording from 2002. It was a digital recording done on digital audio tape and transforming it by mastering it to analog tape through his chosen components that he uses in Nightingale Studio. I've heard about this concept before. As a matter of fact, my audio dealer talks about this a lot. Taking digital sources and transferring them to reel tape transforms them in a way into something that sounds more pleasing to the ear. And while it may not be the pure digital signal, it has an involvement that draws you in more than just the bare digital recording. Why that happens, we don't know, but it does happen, and Lorenzo Vella knew this. And he saw the potential in this very spare, uncluttered recording. It was originally released as a demo disc, apparently. I did a little research on this, and I could find only 2 copies in the world, at least on Discogs. Apparently, it was done as an LP-CD combination. So the LP had selected tracks, the CD probably had the whole session, maybe given to a few stores or done for a special client, but it wasn't a general release. The fact that Lorenzo Vella knew about this and picked up on it and said, hey, let me contact the person who did this recording and see if he'd like to participate in this little alchemy project. That person is Massimo Piantini. He was the original recording and mixing engineer. And how this was done, and the story about this is in the booklet. It was done in what they say is like I don't know if it was abandoned, but like a castle or an old villa that had this big stone room. And the room had the right size and the right acoustic qualities to try a recording there. So a stone room, very spare instrumentation, exact, beautiful miking job that brings out each of these instruments in incredible detail and realism, with space and air around everything. There are 3 artists on here and 3 instruments. Gay Tortorizo is on guitar, acoustic guitar. Mauro Morizi is on double bass. And Andrea Donini is on trumpet, usually muted. It was originally released by Max Research Discovery label. And Lorenzo Vella is, of course, the mastering engineer for this edition. What kind of music's on this? Well, a lot of familiar songs, but they're not recognizable right away because this acoustic ensemble, I'm not going to say it's jazz, but it's kind of like a jazz contemporary crossover. If you ever heard anything from, say, Windham Hill or, no, I don't know, that kind of thing where it's focused on acoustic music, you kind of know what to expect. Of course, the muted trumpet will always remind you of Miles Davis, but this is its own thing. And each instrument gets a chance to shine on this and its demonstration quality. The first track is Tequila. So you know the song Tequila, probably, the instrumental. I didn't recognize it right at first until a little bit later, the melody started to emerge. And that uses all 3 instruments on it. Killing Me Softly with his song is actually for solo double bass. And it's quite impressive that he could get this out in tune and make it resemble the original, but take it in a different direction. It's really beautiful to hear that double bass reproduced with such depth and accuracy. Was wonderful. You hear the strings vibrating in the air. You hear the strings slapping on the board. You hear him plucking. You hear how deeply resonant it is. And that's one thing about this record is the bass is extremely deep, which gives it a nice demonstration quality for the bass. From there's a track called From the Beginning. I think it's by Greg Lake from Emerson, Lake and Palmer. And Georgie Porgy, the tune from Toto's debut, taken in totally different directions. Very spare, though. And then you have Black Queen, I believe by Stephen Stills. And that's a guitar and improvisation. Really beautiful. The acoustic guitar is demonstration quality. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. Then we have a familiar tune on Broadway, which is instantly recognizable. My Funny Valentine. That's for solo flugelhorn. So there you have one other instrument on here. And then Goodbye Pork Pie Hat by Mingus. And that brings everyone together again for the finale. This marriage of digital and analog technology is fascinating to me. And this record really demonstrates how magical that can be, the alchemy behind it. And I can easily recommend this to anyone that wants to explore that subject and would like some refreshing music that treads the jazz category, but also almost like contemporary new age in some ways. Definitely like the acoustic feel of some of these labels like Windham Hill, that wants to have demonstration quality sound. This is the one thing that I noticed today when I played it again, is the record was playing my system. In other words, it felt like my turntable was the bass instrument, and the propulsion, everything that was coming off of my VPI turntable was incredible. It was incredible. I have tubes in the system. Maybe that helps a little bit too with this analog feel, but it was great. I don't know if you can sample it. I'm going to try to find a link where you can sample a little bit of this so you have an idea before you spend $50 or $60 on it, whatever it is. I heard the test pressing of this. It was great. This is just as good, if not better. And you have the beautiful presentation as well. I'll leave a link for the American distributor below. That's Matthew over at Belisario Sonic. Yeah, that is available now in a limited edition of 300. And so is this. This is a beautiful organ recording too. And don't forget, if you haven't gotten Alessandro's MySpace 24, get that too. I'm not a shill for Birdbox Records. I'm a fan. I'm a super fan. And I love everything they're doing lately, expanding beyond their jazz beginnings to do a classical organ record, to do an acoustic record like this. It's a label worth keeping an eye on. And I'll give you updates whenever I have something new from Birdbox. Let me know what you think about this idea of the marriage of digital and analog. And until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.